It's been a remarkable experience. Dr. Fitzgerald is just really all in with her patients. She's a great listener, she's a great communicator, and she's a tireless advocate on behalf of her patients.
One of the things that she also taught me that I will carry with me forever is the compassion that she has for her patients, and always remembering that even though the hospital is a place where we work, it's not a place where patients are used to being, and part of our role is to help them get through that process of being in the hospital, of being sick, and then getting better, and then getting back to their regular, ordinary, everyday lives. And always keeping the patient in mind and making sure that the patient is sort of the center of everything that we do is something that I always take with me.
Let me tell you, watching Dr. Fitzgerald do the physical exam is like watching a master at her craft.
She would give me just enough information to make me, curious. What is going on? And I would go home and I would delve through all kinds of papers trying to figure out what this rare disease was. And I can remember the night before rounds, honestly, I could not wait to get back to the hospital so I could meet with Dr. Fitzgerald and share with her some of the findings that I had.
On discovery rounds, we went to a patient's bedside with just their chief complaint, and she spoke with the patient and asked about every scar, every item of clothing to the hairs on their head. And so we got to learn more about the patient's stories, their travels, who they were. She opened up my eyes in terms of patients being more than a disease. It's more of how disease has affected each person's life and their experience of life. And so those kinds of experiences I've had with Dr. Fitzgerald, I know I'll carry with me in the future when I have my own patients.
I can't imagine anyone else more deserving to receive any teaching rewards at UC Davis Medical Center. She's a fantastic teacher, an even better person.
But most interestingly, I feel I always learn something new about myself after her lectures or after an encounter with Dr. Fitzgerald.
The patients would ask me, "Where's Dr. Fitzgerald? I can't wait to see her." And that's something that I remember still, and something that you inspire in me to be like.
One of my favorite memories is showing up for pre-rounding at some very early hour, like 4:30 in the morning or 5 a.m., and then just turning one way in the hospital and seeing Dr. Fitzgerald whizzing by on her scooter with her black coat flying behind her. It reminded me like a character from Harry Potter, and I knew that once we got to rounds it would be a fun and truly magical experience.
We saw a patient in the ED as a team that nobody had ever seen before, and so we all crowded around the bedside, and Dr. Fitzgerald immediately asked for a pen light, and we didn't know why, and we handed one to her, and she had immediately, within a second of seeing the patient, diagnosed her with a large cataract that none of us had seen. And I think that distills some of the essence of working with Dr. Fitzgerald. A lot of times I'd see a patient or write a note, and Dr. Fitzgerald would point something out, and I'd think, why didn't I think of that? But I think the reason I didn't think of it is because I'm not Dr. Fitzgerald, but at least I can try to be someday.
I'm in Uganda, so not able to come say congratulations in person, but I wanted to let you know that I will always cherish the memory of coming to your office for advice on applying to residency and eating famous Amos cookies while you went over just about every single residency program in the United States with me, I think. So I am really happy to hear that you received this award, and I think that you are an amazing mentor for myself and I think all of the other students at UC Davis.
And your reputation far exceeds the doors of Davis, as I was on multiple interviews and you were mentioned several times that how people were jealous that I got to work with you when I was at Davis, just because you're so well known for your phenomenal diagnostic capability.
I spent a few weeks with you and essentially immediately knew that you had the skills to be a fantastic physician and teacher. I thought you could do it better than I, and so carry on, friend.
For medicine, that is internal. Faith teaches truths that are eternal. What most counts is humanity, despite healthcare insanity, and RVU's grip so infernal. She has a great memory eidetic, and hours to compare are pathetic, but it's used to inspire all her students of fire to diagnose, be empathetic. She knows Alexander the Great was brilliant, a brain in his pate, and within her encephalus she recalls that Brucephalus was his horse on campaigns of state. Her medical mystery tour reveals that in history allure, and for medical science, when on dogma reliance, we miss things that are not obscure. For doctoring she is a force, and I don't mean simply the course. How to be a good doctor, there is no better proctor. Her bedside rounds I do endorse. Her great diagnostic acumen, diseases quite rare can illumine, while quite fun like a sport, what is really fate's fort? Connecting with patients, being human.
So thank you, Dr. Fitzgerald, and congratulations.
So congratulations, Dr. Fitzgerald.
Congratulations, Dr. Fitzgerald, on your award.